Now, speaking of never forgetting, how about the numbers for the Bills-Chiefs game? Josh Allen taking on Patrick Mahomes. Most watched AFC Championship game dating back to at least 1988. 57.7 million viewer average. Now, obviously, it was the second game of the two-game slate on a championship Sunday. 57.7 million people watched an electrifying AFC Championship game that ended with a fourth quarter kick late in the game to win it for the Kansas City Chiefs as they go to another Super Bowl. AJ, what does this number tell you? It tells me that's a lot of motherfuckers. It also tells me that football is king, always has been, always will be, AJ Hawk.
Yes, that is what Raj and the league is doing. That's why they protect the shield, because you get these unbelievably astronomical numbers. What is the usual number for a Super Bowl compared to this?
I think a Super Bowl is like 120 or something, like 115.
Crazy.
Yeah. Last year's Super Bowl was the most watched thing since the moon landing. That was definitely real.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Nice.
And not every person in the United States watched the moon landing, so that'll probably never be eclipsed.
Yeah, but that was definitely clear live footage from the fucking moon.
That's exactly right.
In 1969.
I know. Crazy how we were able to do that technology-wise then. But I mean,
in audio, there wasn't even like a flub.
No hiccups. But again, our space program had the best and brightest. Bingo. That's why we won the space race.
And then they did the slingshot to send them back home, right? Around the moon.
Exactly.
Went to the dark side of the moon, slingshot their way back.
Which is what's over there.
1969.
I know. Crazy.
We had Dan Orlovsky on live from his kitchen while he was eating, and I think there was a couple glitches of his sound in 2025. Moon landing, this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. 8K.
I know. Crazy what
That's
NASA
unbelievable.
Can do. I know. NASA's unbelievable.
That's NASA football.
USA. 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 There's people saying they're going to boycott this Super Bowl, though. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I've been hearing that a lot. Been seeing that a lot.
Why?
Don't believe it at all.
How could you? I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Okay, what are any of us going to do?
Marks.
What are we're going to not turn on the Super Bowl? Okay.
No, we will not be.
Yeah, we will be watching the Super Bowl. And I think it's kind of, it got real loud there about the Chiefs and the Bills, and then the Chiefs and the Ravens. Or, no, Chiefs and Texans.
Yeah.
Yes.
The week before in the division round, which feels like it's 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I know, right? I understand the Chiefs hate, though. Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift. I get that. But why do people hate the Eagles?
You ever been there?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. People.
Tush Push? Or
Yeah, the
just Jalen
Tush Push
Hurts?
they hate, and also Jalen Hurts has some D1 haters, if you recall, from the
cool.
Yeah,
first time.
Self-proclaimed D1 hater.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you're so cool. You got the cool chain, and you got the cool girlfriend, and you got all this money. Like, fuck you. That's what people say about Jalen Hurts typically when it comes to him.
We do live in a hater society, especially with the internet, and there's very clever haters that we get a chance to see on the internet. We're very thankful for them.
Sure.
Obviously, if we're not the targets. Even when I'm the target, I read some of those and I go, damn, that's pretty good. I don't know how you piece that together, but I like what you did there. But there's a lot of people that say, the NFL, they don't want us to watch. The NFL thinks they can get away with anything. The NFL is forcing Taylor Swift into the Super Bowl yet again. They're forcing a three-peat so they can talk about a dynasty just because they want to bury the Patriots. Maybe there's always going to be these things that people think that they can bring up that make them want to hate the NFL. But at the end of the day, push comes to shove, football is the greatest thing on television, which is why 57.7 million people watch a championship game. Wow. That's an average. Who knows what the peak was? Probably 70 million.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, more stats. Yeah. NFL's second most watched non-Super Bowl game behind the 2009 Vikings Saints.
That was the Case Keenum. Yeah, the Minnesota Miracle.
Oh, Minneapolis Miracle. Broke the internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stephon Diggs snags that thing. Bad pursuit angle there. I don't know.
Terrible.
Yeah, I still don't know how. Up 4% from last year's Ravens-Chiefs game that was in the early window. So literally everything for the NFL still up and to the right. Even like college ball had a little bit of a downfall. Wasn't on, what's that called?
Basic cable.
Basic cable. It was on ESPN. Next year, it'll be on ABC. Let's assume numbers will be bananas for the national championship. But it's like, I assume last year, whenever the Ravens took on the Chiefs, the number was gigantic. Everybody's like, damn, for a championship game. Up 4% yet again. Now, who knows what's real and what isn't real? I'm not talking about the moon landing.
No, yeah, it's 1,000% real.
Let's talk about the Super Bowl. Last year, most watched since the moon landing that we all agree, except for Connor.
We went to.
Definitely went to. 120.25 million viewers. Simulcast got 3.46 million, not too shabby. 123.7, you start doing the math there. Total across all platforms. Most watched thing since the moon landing. People, 126 down there. What was that? New England, Atlanta. But I guess the average was only 111?
Yeah, and they don't have the out of home there for the for the latest one.
Okay, so what are we projecting for this year's Super Bowl? 120, I guess, would be the right projection? Is that what we're expecting? Because everything for the NFL is up and to the right. If it was to stay at 123.7, I think people would say that's a success, especially with how big last year was. But if you look at the numbers here, 108, 113, 115, 113, 126, 119, 113. Now, when you get to 2020, 101, which doesn't make any sense. What was everybody doing? There's nothing else to do.
No, there wasn't.
You had to watch the Super Bowl, I thought.
What was it?
101, 112, 115, 123. So everything's going up and to the right last 4 years. We think that continues? Let's take a vote. D-Butt, you think it's more than 123.7?
Yes, I think it's more.
Tone, you think it's more than 123.7?
No.
I don't think so either.
No,
I think,
I don't.
I think 120 will
Because
be.
what
I said
surprised me
lower.
was last week when, or not last week, sorry, 2 weeks ago when Bills Ravens was down as far as the divisional round. Like that surprised me. So I would not be shocked if this one was down for some reason.
Yeah, like if you pull that back up for a second, the entire graph, like look where it is, New England, Atlanta, and then the next two, New England's in all three of those Super Bowls. Like people do. And
People get tired of.
we're in the same exact thing here with KC. And
Yeah, but Kansas City was in 3 out of 4, and then the fourth one was the highest. So Kansas City, Tampa Bay, 101. Kansas City, Philly, 115. Kansas City, San Francisco, 123.7.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but
look
does-
at-
Doesn't it have like a Floyd Mayweather effect though? Like where people, like the diehards want to see the Chiefs win, but then everyone else wants to see them lose?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you feel like this year has been even more so their most hated year?
But this year also the highest ratings, I think, since 2015 for the NFL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many different things. I wonder what the NFL is projecting. I wonder if somebody will ask Roger Goodell in his Super Bowl press conference.
Now, if you look at New England, Atlanta, and then, the last one, those were both, if I'm reading the graph correctly, overtime games. So they were close games. A lot of people tuning in to watch them.
Get a little extra.
The Tampa Bay one, they won by 22. I'm reading that correct. That one, 101 million.
So the game matters.
Game does matter.
Got a
Philadelphia.
chance to history, too.
What's that?
Three-peat. Got a chance to see something done that's never been done before.
Yeah, so you can market the shit out of that. But I think what people are getting out of the marketing is I'm tired of seeing them. I'm tired of seeing
Yeah,
them.
because even for like the history conversation, you could say that with Tampa and KC because Brady was going for his 7th.
Taylor Swift in that last one, right?
Yep.
That's the first one she's a part of,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah,
know
that.
football people don't want to hear this, but that's a real number.
For sure.
Like my wife is much more interested in the game to see what Taylor is doing or how Taylor is reacting. She's obviously 36, about to turn 37. Ooh. Yikes.
I believe that's right.
I think so.
Wait, Taylor Swift or your wife?
My wife.
Oh.
Shit. I think she's 36, about to turn 37. She just had her half birthday the other day.
There you
Oh,
go.
nice.
Obviously,
Happy
we
half birthday.
Happy half birthday.
We celebrated. Happy half birthday, Sam. Love you, lady.
Like,
Yeah, birthday. But with that being said, Swifties, very real. Daughters of a lot of football dudes told stories about how they were able to share more time with their daughters than they ever had in the past, and they've fallen in love with football. So that obviously adds to the number of it all. Also, overtime certainly helps because the longer game, more people potentially get their eyes on it.
Yeah, I mean, all those videos came out last year of like groups of girls throwing like Taylor Swift themed like Super Bowl parties who, in years past probably either didn't give a shit or, went with their husbands or significant others and, weren't focused on the game. But like we're talking like massive parties with like Taylor Swift related stuff. And you would assume that just as she's become, it's like, hey, guess what? Her and Travis are probably going to get married. Like this is real. And I think maybe last year people were kind of, no, it's not. Like, it is. So I wonder if that'll go up again.
I think the halftime show probably matters too.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey,
It was Rihanna last year, right?
Big time.
What was it last year?
Rihanna was pregnant when she did it.
ooh, I
2 years ago.
forget.
Las
I thought it was
Vegas.
Rihanna last year.
Was it?
Usher.
Usher.
Usher last
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, remember
He
Alicia
roller
Keys?
skated. Roller skated.
Yep.
Yeah, and he had the Alicia Keys moment where he was really doing it to her.
Yeah.
He was really dancing on her. You remember that, D-Butch?
Was he?
They were grinding. They weren't smooching.
No, they weren't.
They were grinding out there.
Swiss Beats was not happy.
Well, no,
Or-
people were saying Swiss Beats shouldn't be happy, and then Swiss Beats said, "My wife just performed at the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Everybody needs to fucking relax." How about that?
yeah.
Alicia Keys is an absolute dog, which she is. So is Usher. Kendrick Lamar down in Louisiana. Excited to see who pops up into that.
Yeah, there's one.
What?
There's only one person who should pop up into that.
Who's that?
Be Wheezy F Baby.
Lil Wayne. Allegedly, there was reports that Lil Wayne was asked if he wanted to do the halftime performance. Allegedly. There was a lot. Obviously got really loud when Kendrick was selected over Lil Wayne down there. But then there was a bunch of interviews that were done by a bunch of people that were a part of it. And they were like, we asked, we didn't want to. Who knows? But you're right. Fireman should certainly come out there.
No doubt. Birdman, too, maybe.
Yeah, why not Boosie? Let Boosie come running out there, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Birdman can fly in any weather.
True.
Yeah. Bird call would be great out there.
Would be.
Is he going to do, he's got to do Not Like Us, right?
Yeah, it was on the commercial.
Yeah, I think I just. Yep.
Has to do it.
Maybe Baby Boy to Prince.
This is the way I live. Maybe boss still pushing big whip.